Good morning, everyone. Thank you for participating in the first ever Syracuse City School District Career Connections event, brought to you in collaboration by Center State CEO, Lemoyne College's Erie 21, and the Manufacturers Association of Central New York. This event would not be made possible without fabulous business and community partners. We thank you all for taking the time to be here today to bring this important event to fruition. Now for some quick Zoom rules. To help keep background noise to a minimum, we do ask that you please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Please be engaged and attentive if your camera is on. Today's live event will be recorded. Without further ado, I will pass it over to the Syracuse City School District Superintendent, Jaime Alicea, to welcome us to today's Career Connections event.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first ever Syracuse City School District Career Connection event, a partnership between the Office of Career and Technical Education and our local workforce development partners. I appreciate our partners, Magni, Center State CEO, Erie 21, joining us for this initiative with the intent of helping our high school seniors learn about career opportunities. Career opportunities in Syracuse and in Central New York. Today's Career Connection event isn't just a passive way for our students to learn about employment and local businesses. It is also a pathway to help them receive support in the preparation for employment and the application process. Today, students and families will be introduced to local businesses in the technology, healthcare, and construction trades to learn about current and upcoming full-time career opportunities and how to connect with a career coach for support. It is our goal to help every high school senior develop a plan for post-graduation, whether that includes continuing their education or entering the workforce. In the Syracuse City School District, we have the support in place to help our students achieve success, whatever that might look like for them in the future. Thank you to the support of our local business partner. Employment opportunities are available for our future high school graduates. And I say future, you gotta graduate from high school first. We are very excited of the work that our partners are doing and the support that they're willing to provide for our students in the Syracuse City School District. Following the event, high school counselors and members of our CTE and Technical Education office will be available to support the students and career coaches here today throughout the process. To our students attending today, thank you for joining us and taking the time to invest in your future. Please lean on your school counselors, CTE office, and our business partner and allow them to help you, to guide you, to help you reach your goals. We're excited about this event. We're looking forward to providing you with the resources that you will need in the future. Thank you for attending today, and I look forward to hearing about the many opportunities, partnership, and success story that will come about as a result of this, the first Career Connection event. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaime. Let's quickly run through today's agenda. It is a tight schedule, and we will ask everyone to be mindful of their presentation time. We will hear from 7 different companies today, representing healthcare, technology, and the construction trades. After, we will talk about how to become job ready and how to take the next step of working with a career coach. Concluding today's virtual event will be On Point for College, followed by final closing remarks from the Syracuse City School District. Beginning the employer portion of our event will be representatives from the #1 industry in Syracuse, healthcare. First, we'll be hearing from Loretto, followed by St. Joseph's Health, and then Upstate Medical University. Business representatives will each have about 8 minutes to speak. We will field questions for all healthcare presenters after Upstate has finished presenting, at which time the chat will also be open. I will now pass it over to Loretto, Director of Workforce Development, Michelle DeTota.
everyone. Thank you so much. This is such a wonderful collaboration. This is something Loretto has really been focused on for the past couple of years, is being able to reach out to the seniors. So without further ado, just want to, I know we're short on time, I want to present the opportunities that we have. Are we gonna?
You let me know, Michelle. Am I skipping through this?
First.
Play the video?
Go ahead.
Can you hear it?
No.
You cannot hear it? One second.
We can always try for the end.
I'm trying to. Can you hear it now?
No.
I can't. I don't know if anyone else.
You would when you do the share, you have to share the audio as well when you on that screen. Liza, just FYI.
So when I share sound. Got it. Here we go.
To do something. In these difficult times, it's important to think of others to make a difference in their lives. For over 90 years, Loretto has been transforming care in Central New York. Loretto employees work hard to make every day extraordinary. Now is the time to do something meaningful, to start a new rewarding career. If you're an RN, LPN, CNA, or CHHA, we need you. Come make a difference at Loretto. Call 315-413-3693 or visit lorettocny.org/careers.
I would just like to skip to our first slide, which is our values. Loretto is grounded with trust, kindness, teamwork, and leadership. This is what drives us every day to care for our residents. So our staff, we truly believe that they each have to embody these 4 characteristics, because our main focus is being able to care for our residents. So a little bit about Loretto and the services and programs that we have. You can go to the next slide. So we're 19 different programs and facilities across Onondaga and Cayuga County. We provide a continuum of care, which starts with independent living. We have communities and home care based facilities. And then we go into assisted living. So we have 5 different buildings that encompass that. And then of course, our skilled nursing and rehab, which everyone knows right off of 81. So those are all the different continuum of care that we serve in the community. So I want to just hop into our hospitality opportunities. You know, a lot of the times Loretto focuses on, you know, we have such a high need in clinical, but we also have a lot of other positions within our system that, you know, contribute to the residents' well-being. So in our skilled nursing facilities, I've broken them down into 2 different types, because in our skilled nursing facilities, we have what we call food service workers, which help prepare all the meals throughout our facilities for our residents. They have to be very knowledgeable in being able to read tickets, because there's a lot of measurements and food dietary needs, and that all starts in the kitchen. Then we move into housekeeping, which obviously with COVID has become even more important, because we have to make sure everything is extremely sanitized and clean. You know, we were before COVID, we're focused on that, obviously but now this is even a higher priority. So it's these jobs have become so important throughout our facilities. In our assisted living side, which is, you know, where people, you know, live independently in apartments, but still can need care. We have dining services, which is actually a very restaurant focused, especially in our Nottingham facility. It's full service dining to all of our residents. We serve them. We'll clear each course out for them. So it's very it's very restaurant type focused. Those are more evening positions. Those are your 4 to 8, 4 to 9 jobs. So, and then we have what we call, and it looks like it ran off there a little bit, I'm sorry, is our support service worker positions. This job actually is an all encompassing of the other 3: food service, housekeeping, and dining. They're mostly in our assisted living facilities, but it's a little bit of everything. So those are our hospitality positions. Then we can go over quickly to our clinical. So in our clinical, we have paid training classes. So we have our CNA training and we have our home health aide training. Our CNA training, due to COVID, and it's still in place right now, we have a COVID waiver to where we were able to shorten our CNA training class from a 4-week class to 4 days. So they get 4 days of intense training focused on the direct care responsibilities. And then they get a unit and shift orientation, which is up to 10 days. So we're actually still training and teaching while they're on the floors. Eventually, with that COVID waiver that we had, it will go away at some point. And then each student needs to go through the full training class. So then they'll eventually go into that 4 weeks. They will not need as much orientation after that because they've already been on the floor working and have had it. But that CNA training is also paid. And that includes the CPR. Will certify our CNAs in CPR, dementia, crisis intervention, and communication, which we feel is a really important skill when you're working in a team. It lists some of the responsibilities, eating, dressing, bathing, exercising. Those are some major responsibilities for the CNA. And our CNAs are always in our skilled nursing facilities. So that's where those are based. Our home health aides, or we call them certified home health aides or geriatric caregivers in our PACE of CNY world. That's our home care world. But our training is a 14-day training program. It's shorter. Then depending on where you're going to work, whether in our housing facilities or in our home care facilities, is you get an enhanced training. Our certified home health aides are actually able to either administer meds in our housing or remind meds in our geriatric care. And again, these are all focused within our community. So they're two different types of positions. But they provide the hands-on direct clinical care. Okay, so here's some career pathways that our students can follow. It's not set in stone. Each position does come with an increase in wage. You can start off as a food service worker and work your way up if you want to stay in the dietary lane. If you want to do housekeeping and maintenance, we can send for training for skilled maintenance workers as well. But these are not set in stone. We have a lot of people who start in food service or housekeeping, but they have a real passion for caring for people. So they'll jump into a clinical position and want to pursue that path. So all of these can kind of cross each other. With our clinical advancement, again, like I said, you can start in our training programs. And then we have the LPN apprenticeship program, which we launched 2 years ago. It's the only one. It's through the Department of Labor, nationally represented. And we're going into our 3rd cohort now. Has been very successful. And all you have to do is be a CNA or a home health aide in the past year. However, this year in our 3rd cohort, we actually opened up to all Loretto employees, frontline employees. So we actually have a housekeeper who has been with us a year at our Nottingham facility, and she is pursuing this. So she didn't go the home health aide or the CNA route, but she has a passion for people. She is scheduled to take her exam to get into LPN class. So these are our pathways. We're very, very excited to offer these opportunities to our staff. And then some of our benefits. We are a unionized environment. And we have a lot of support from our union and our training and upgrade fund to be able to provide different opportunities for our employees. If you are interested in taking college classes, we're able to take some of those classes right here on our campus. We have a professor that is there who is able to support our employees. Our training and upgrade fund, who helps with funding with tuition, especially with the LPN apprentice. We're able to support and provide funding for that. And then they also offer tutoring. Like right now we have our LPN studying for their NCLEX. So we offer free tutoring for that. If you're interested in getting medical terminology, anything that's related to the work that you'd be doing at Loretto, we are able to provide that additional education. And then some of our benefits are a little different than a lot of benefits. Of course, you have your health insurance and your dental insurance, but we have an employee coach that we incorporated into our team a few years ago. And she is able to help with whether it's a personal issue that happens, transportation, daycare, if you're struggling at home and there's some things going on that you need to confide in and you don't have anyone, she's there. She also serves as a career coach. If you're looking to advance, she works with me and we work on those things to help with your career. She's a certified social worker, and any issues that come up, if you have attendance issues and something's contributed to that, she's going to help you through that. We have an auto buying program that's amazing. A lot of people will start out on public transportation and within 6 months are into buying their own, their first car, their first automobile. Tuition reimbursement. We have a free employee health clinic right on site. We offer prenatal vitamin program. We have a diaper bank where everyone gets free diapers every month. So there's just a lot of different benefits to working at Loretto. And then, and I help with the career counseling as well. I get a lot of employees calling me who want to move up and what do they need to do? And we work and we come up with a plan to help you get there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I would like to mention that you are able to send questions as you think of them to Amanda Miles as a direct message in the chat. Amanda will hold on to these questions for when we get to Q&A. Next, we'll hear from St. Joseph's Health Talent Sourcing Partner, Heather Dara.
There we go. Hi, I'm very excited and honored to be here representing St. Joseph's Health. And we have so many exciting things that can come, and you can start an actual career here. If you could go to the next slide. Perfect, thank you. So to start, we have our values. The first one is a reverence. We honor the sacredness and dignity of every person. We're committed to those who are poor. We stand and serve those who are poor, especially those most vulnerable. Justice. We foster right relationships, promote the common good, and including sustainability of Earth. Stewardship. We honor our heritage and hold ourselves accountable for the human, financial, and natural resources entrusted to our care. Integrity. We are faithful to who we say we are, and excellence. We heal by expecting the best of ourselves and others. We live by these values. This is us. We have been in the community for 150 years. We are not going anywhere. We are part of the Trinity Health system. That is something that's pretty exciting in a way that we're everywhere in the country. So you can always start with St. Joseph's Health, but then all of a sudden, maybe something in your life is turning you to Florida, and you can transfer within our system and have that ability. We have over 130,000 employees in the Trinity Health system. We're also nationally ranked for quality patient care with our Leapfrog Hospital Safety Grade A. Next slide. Perfect. We do have the magnet recognition. We are so excited to have this. And what this really does is it recognizes the reflection of our nursing's professionalism, teamwork, superiority, and patient care. And what's pretty outstanding about this is that it is a select group of around 378 healthcare organizations out of nearly 6,000 US house care organizations. That really separates us, and we are so proud to have this recognition. Next slide, please. Our professional development. You know, we really care for everybody that joins our St. Joseph's family. And with that, you may start as a food service worker, as a receptionist, and then you find that once you're in our system, you get to learn all the different opportunities that we have available. Maybe once you're in the environment, you say, I want to be an LPN. Well, we have our College of Nursing, and it's right on campus, and we have tuition reimbursement. We are proud and want to help you move through our system and find your career. And it's so great that you can do this with one organization. Next slide. Thank you. Some of the positions that we have available when you graduate in this so exciting time for you. You've worked so hard to get to where you are. You know, we have our patient care technicians. This is a role that is just so great. What you do is you literally get to work side by side with RNs, and you get to work on the different units. Maybe one week you're working in cardiology, the next maybe you're working with maternity. You get to see where could be your passion, and we're going to teach you everything you're going to need to do, how to do a blood draw, how to do EKGs. Those are just a couple things that you would be able to do with this. We also offer our customer service representative role, where you can be the front hand person and you get to greet all the patients that are coming on. They could be maybe virtually on the phone, or maybe it's in person. We also have our customer access representative and of course the receptionist positions. These are just a few of what could be available for you when you graduate. We do, like Loretto, have the hospitality side as well. We have our nutritional services side, where you could maybe start out as a dish room attendant, or you could be a food service worker, or you could maybe be an assistant cook. You never know where you can go and start with us. It is really if you're looking to get into healthcare, we have the opportunities for you, and we're not asking for a lot of experience. We're just asking for you to have maybe you have your high school diploma, and with that, we'll help you get to where you want to be. So how can you apply? One of the things that we have is, obviously, like many organizations now, we have our careers page. You just click on the careers, which is that little green button in the upper right hand corner, and it will take you to all of the opportunities that we have available. And the other thing is, I would love to be your contact person. If you could click to the next slide. There's my information. So I have put my email address, I have put my direct line. I would love to have a call with all of you. Even if, let's say, you don't know where you want to be, but you know it's in healthcare, please give me the opportunity to let you find your way. I would be more than willing to be a counselor for you and to get you through this process and get into healthcare, this amazing, exciting experience. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to speak.
Thank you so much, Heather. Next, we'll hear about opportunities with Upstate Medical University from Turn Team Supervisor Jordan Davis.
Hey, can you hear me? I had to just unmute. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, had to make sure. Hey, I'm Jordan Davis. I work at Upstate. I've been here since I've been 19 years old, and I love it. I oversee 2 groups in Upstate's OR, and there's an abundance of opportunity here. I just want to say hard work is always rewarded, especially when it's consistent. And one of the groups that I oversee is the HAs. And HAs are basically the people who stock the ORs, and they turn over the ORs in between surgery. So a day like today, we have 40 surgeries going on. So that's pretty much every single time we have to turn over the room. And with this position, there's absolutely no requirements. You know, you can be fresh out of high school, and it's basically the easiest way to get into the door and, you know, tap into these opportunities. Right now, we have surgical techs that they are in high demand. So basically, surgical techs, they are the ones who pass the instruments to the surgeon during the surgery. And Upstate will help pay for tuition. And honestly, we have a program with Onondaga Community College in Mohawk Valley, so that you can take classes to become a surgical tech and be an HA in the evening. After the 2-year program, you have a degree and pretty much a guaranteed job as a surgical tech. But that's not it. You know, we have anesthesia techs, we have X-ray techs, so pretty much there's a plethora of, you know, jobs. I'm going to put my info in the chat, and anyone who is, you know, interested in maybe shadowing or just, you know, is interested, you know, give me a call, shoot me an email. We can make it happen. I'm just saying, you guys take and one other thing, job security, benefits, and retirement here are second to none. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody, you know, who's interested. I think that's my part right there.
Thank you so much, Jordan. We will now take questions for our healthcare industry presenters. To ask a question, please raise your hand in Zoom. We will call on you to unmute. Alternatively, you may drop your questions in the chat. In the interest of time, if we don't get to your questions, we will follow up with you. Do we have any questions? I don't see any hands up yet. You can, you know, if you think of anything as we move forward, definitely write it in the chat. We'll be able to make sure your questions get answered later on. Can I have everyone give our healthcare presenters a Zoom round of applause? You can do so by going to reaction. Awesome. Thank you. Great. And thank you, Jordan, for putting your contact information in the chat. Okay, we will press on. Next, we'll be hearing from our partners in technology. Up first will be JMA Wireless, followed by Rapid Response Monitoring Systems, and then TCG Player. Again, presenters will have about 8 minutes each to speak to their opportunities. We will field questions for all technology presenters after TCG Player has presented, at which time the chat will be open again. I will now pass it over to JMA Wireless Associate Talent Acquisition Specialist, Michaela Polano.
She here?
Hi, sorry, I wasn't able to unmute. But hello, my name is Michaela, as Taylor said, and I'm really excited to be here this morning. So I'm going to talk about opportunities at JMA. We're a local growing company. Right now, we're headquartered in Liverpool, New York, but we are expanding to downtown Syracuse this year. So if we can flip to the next slide. So I do have a brief video that I just want to introduce first. So what we do is we, in Liverpool, we design and manufacture antenna and antenna systems. So our clients for these are going to be your cell providers. So Verizon, T-Mobile, a new customer, Dish, which we're really excited about. those big names, we sell our products to them, they install them on the cell tower, and that's what gives you the signal. So this video is showing that production and what we do on site in Liverpool that goes into the making of these products. So you can go ahead and play. Thank you, and we can go ahead and move on. So who are our customers? So it's easier to answer who isn't our customer in this. We serve multiple different industries. So between our indoor solutions and our outdoor solutions. So I touched on our antenna products, but we also have another side of our business, which is our indoor DAS solutions. And those serve the sports and entertainment field, the hospitality fields, with this new concept called private wireless, where basically the stadium itself has its own network. So that's when you go into a stadium and you have your own network and you're experiencing it there. That's what we're creating in stadiums. So we are in Syracuse. Our products are in the Dome, the airport, and then across the US, we've just launched, well, we just did the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. So our technology is in that, and we're serving a bunch of other industries, as you can tell. So our teams are working very hard to really set the pace for these products and going forward. So what our downtown facility will manufacture, what I talked about earlier, is those 5G products for these indoor solutions. Next slide, please. So our hiring process, we try to keep it as simple as possible. So you just submit an application with your resume. You'll hear from myself, most likely, via email or phone. We do a quick interview, bring you on site so you can see what you'd be doing. And then if everything goes well, we do move to an offer. So departments we're seeing growth in at the entry level stage right now are production, machining, IT, customer service, and logistics. So definitely some different growth paths that entry-level employees can go into. And with that, we are offering growth opportunities. So JMA does have tuition reimbursement. We do multiple apprentice programs, a variety of trades, and we're always expanding that as well. So if you know of a trade that you think would be applicable, you just talk to your manager, and then your manager tells me to register it with the state, basically. So we're definitely, we want to make sure that our employees can grow and that they have opportunities to build their career and go into that path that they want to do. And especially at the high school age, you may not know exactly what that is. So we give opportunities for you to try different things as well. Next slide. And then the full-time working experience. So we are a small company. We're medium-sized. We're about 500 employees in the US and about 700 worldwide. So you're getting quick experience. You're meeting large stakeholders right from day one. You have that immediate contribution. We have awesome benefits. My favorites are the gym reimbursement and tuition assistance. We're a fast-moving tech company with that global reach. We do have offices in Italy, so that's where we're all over the place. It's great. And then new grad tips, make sure you know about the company. You don't have to be an expert by any means before you interview. LinkedIn is a great way to connect. It's never too soon to be on LinkedIn. That was a mistake I made. I don't think I had a LinkedIn, and so I was ready to enter the workforce, and definitely I would recommend getting one. Don't be afraid to try a new company or a new industry and go out of your comfort zone. And you're interviewing the company as much as they're interviewing you. So ask a lot of questions. Hiring teams love answering. We're all prideful about our company and we want to hear what you want to know about us, and we want to talk about what we do. And that's all I had today, I believe. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Michaela. Next, we'll hear about opportunities with rapid response monitoring systems from Director of Talent Acquisition, Lauren Ahrens, and Operations Recruiting Team Lead, Allison O'Leary.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Lauren Ahrens. I'm happy to be here. I actually am a Syracuse City School District grad, so always glad to come back and chat with folks. We can go ahead to the next slide. Excited to tell you all a little bit about Rapid Response. So I lead recruiting for the organization, a little bit about what our business does. So we are an alarm monitoring service. So we actually work directly with alarm system dealers. So if you have an alarm system in your home or business, that alarm system would be installed, sold to you, serviced if anything breaks by an alarm company that you would sort of pay a monthly bill to. But ultimately, if you have an alarm on your system, you're essentially what is considered to us as an end user. So if you have any alarms in your home or business, those are actually going to send signals to our monitoring center located in Franklin Square for processing. So one of our specialists will pick up the phone and will ultimately determine whether or not a true emergency exists, and if so, dispatch the authorities accordingly. So we hire a lot of folks into that specialist role. We're always hiring, and we got really excited about being able to hire folks with just a little bit of work experience and a high school education into the role. Next slide, please. A little bit about our training program. So we love to hire people without experience in what we do. We have a really robust training program that I think is super exciting. It's really hands-on. So we have a full 3-week classroom training. So before we send anybody out to the floor to handle calls, all of that starts in our really nice training classroom in our office. We start with sort of the basics the first week. There is a midterm and a final to make sure that folks are tracking all the information they need to know to be ready. The class is really fun. Actually, everyone in our company starts learning how to be a specialist first. So I actually went through the training myself. Allison did as well. And you really do learn everything end to end. You learn about all different types of alarms. You learn about all of our technology. You learn about all of the support that we provide. So how to access supervisors if you have questions on calls. But the trainers make it a lot of fun. They do a lot of games and do a lot of review going into some of the exams that we have. And then the next weeks are actually on the job training. And the first 90 days actually has a really high level of mentorship and support, a lot of regular check-ins. So we actually pair each new specialist with a mentor and a supervisor. So you have someone that you can sit near, that you can ask questions, and we get a lot of really positive feedback about our overall leadership and support as well. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about our leadership support. We actually did a recruitment video that we produced that's going to be on our website very shortly. And one of the things we heard really consistently from employees, all non-scripted, was just how much they feel like their supervisors really do care. They understand the job. So all of our supervisors and managers started as a specialist as well. We exclusively recruit from within into those leadership positions. So unlike, some experiences I think folks have where their supervisor doesn't really understand the job or doesn't really understand what they do, we really do have leadership that knows how it feels. So everyone on our leadership team within operations starts as a specialist. They all meet with their supervisors and managers weekly to ensure they're understanding the new role. And we really love to recruit from within. So lots of opportunities to learn and grow. Actually, 92% of our leadership team started as a specialist at Rapid. So those supervisors really love to help employees not just find opportunities to expand their skills in the specialist role, but also to set goals and help plan for career growth, ideally within Rapid. So we have a lot of other departments. If we can go to the next slide. Lots of other departments for folks to be able to move into. So as I mentioned, and I really like this statistic, 92% of our leadership team started in an entry-level role. So within our operations department exclusively, we have roles in our monitoring center. So that's our core control center specialist position on our website. It's actually posted as a customer service representative. And that's doing a lot of outbound calling, responding to alarm signals, being there for folks in, really nervous times, nerve-wracking major events in their lives, being there to support them and let them know that help is on the way. We also have a dealer support team, and we've actually hired some folks out of a couple schools in Syracuse into our dealer support team as well. So making sure that customer account information is entered correctly, making sure that customers have what they need. We also have opportunities in our training department, in our quality assurance team, in our scheduling teams. And we have other departments that folks move into from operations as well. So into accounting, into recruiting, into sales and marketing, technology, licensing, the list goes on. So we get really excited about people being available to and having the opportunity to move into new roles. So yeah, would love to, happy to talk to folks about opportunities at Rapid. If Allie wants to go ahead and put her contact information into the chat as well, she's happy to answer any questions that anyone may have directly. If you're interested in our opportunities, if you're interested in learning a little bit more or trying to decide whether or not this is an opportunity for you, Allison is a really great resource to answer any of those questions. But yeah, thanks so much. Glad to present and happy to take any questions at the end of this section.
Thank you so much for being here today, Lauren and Allison. Next, we'll hear about opportunities with TCG Player from shipping team and community organizer, Daniel Fadden.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Dan Fadden. So I am sitting here in the middle of TCG Player. As you can see, behind us is a castle. So as she said, I am the shipping team leader. So I supervise all of the operations in the shipping department right now. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. But what I wanted to point out first thing is that I have been here for 7 years. And my 7 years here has been a constant steady progression upwards. So I have been doing shipping for about 7 years. I started as a generalist. I moved into a team lead role. I moved into a group lead role, and then I moved into what I am doing now, which is supervising the shipping department. So that constant steady growth is here at TCG Player, should you put in that work. But I think I should probably describe what TCG Player is a little bit. So we are an e-commerce and collectible gaming market. What that means is that we're basically a little bit like eBay and a little bit like Amazon, except just for a bunch of nerd stuff. We're card games, we're, on the website, board games, we have all different kinds of stuff that we deal with, specifically for that trading card game or that like e-commerce for nerd stuff environment. Right now we have a program that we run that's like Amazon Prime. It's called TCG Player Direct, and that is where the entry point is to TCG Player. It's a fulfillment program. So you would be fulfilling orders that customers are placing through our platform. So it's a high speed, high energy kind of environment. And we are promoting from within almost exclusively. I think there are a few higher level supervisory roles that we have not promoted with internally, but those would be roles that are beyond experience that you would be able to attain or achieve in an entry level position. Now with that, we do encourage education beyond what you are currently doing in your entry role. So we are flexible. So should you start at TCG Player at an entry level role, even if college is not something that you want to do immediately, it is something that we encourage you to do later in your future. So we do drop to part-time hours. We do make flexible schedules. We have overnight shifts. So all different kinds of options to continue employment at TCG Player, further your education so that you could achieve those high-level positions at TCG Player. We're constantly innovating every day too. So even at an entry-level position, you are going to find that things change close to every day, and you will have influence on those changes as well. Being able to participate in them, learn from what the other operations supervisors are doing, and job shadow them. So we also have a lot of internal internships, job shadowing, and engagement beyond just the fulfillment center. Entering TCG Player at the Fulfillment Center is a really great way to also break into the tech world, because we have internships that you can achieve that are for development roles and for different roles within the company that are more tech focused, like IT departments and stuff like that as well. So there's a lot of opportunity there. All of those internships have been currently internal as well. Aside from a few that we have brought in from colleges outside that have done some different programs at TCG Player. We are heavily focused with those internships being internal. We also have a ton of great perks, benefits, and compensation. If you could actually go to the next slide, please. So right from the gate, you're at a $15 an hour start. If you are driving, we have free parking. If not, your transportation costs are covered. We have a ton of different things on day one that start immediately. So we have free health insurance, or not free health insurance, free life insurance. We also have very, very costly or at cost health insurance as well. We also have a ton of great benefits within here too. Free snacks, free drinks, a lot of really great friendships that you can make as well. We have events that happen all the time for the company. We also have like gathering events where you can learn about other people's jobs, get to know them, and potentially job shadow should the opportunity arise. And the entry point here is a resume and cover letter to apply. So it's, pretty standard resume, pretty standard cover letter. I know that there's a lot of assistance that are being given to those things as well. So if we could go to the next slide, please.
Okay, thank you, Dan. I think we are all admiring your
I
castle.
think I might have froze.
Oh, can you hear us, Dan? So I think we're all admiring your castle and wondering how we can get one for our office spaces, but we will now take questions for our technology industry presenters. To ask a question, please raise your hand in Zoom, and we will call on you to unmute. Alternatively, you may drop your questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions for our technology presenters? All right, looks like we have
there's a question. Oh, God.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, looks like we have a question in the chat. What kind of degree would be needed for these jobs?
I can go first. So JMA doesn't require any degrees for our entry level roles. So right now we have probably 40 or so production roles that have, that promise of quick growth with the company. And you can come in right out of high school and do these. We also have other opportunities. So our customer service team and our IT team, we would like to, promote you from within into those roles if you're interested. There are apprentice programs for IT right now that we do offer. Well, we don't offer, but we're looking into getting that with the state. So looking into those opportunities, we really try to grow from within because that's where our talent is and that's where the people who believe in the company are.
Yeah, and I'll add that for Rapid, we also don't require a degree for our entry-level positions. And I will also note that we get a lot of folks that come out of high school that want to pursue a degree, but also want to work at the same time and want to start in a professional role. So you're able to kind of launch your career at Rapid. We have really flexible schedules. So we have a fair amount of part-time opportunities as well as full-time. So for students that want to work in a professional role part-time while attending school, that's certainly an option as well, while also building your career and your reputation in a great organization. So again, no specific degree required, but if that's something you wanted to do while working, that's an option as well.
And the very same for TCG Player is to be said, there are no degrees required to enter TCG Player. So pretty awesome entry. And as well, we are also encouraging of, if you do want to do future education, we have very, very flexible schedules as well, offering for anything from 24 hours a day. So.
Excellent, thank you. It looks like we have another question in the chat. Are there summer internships available at JMA? I am interested in computer engineering.
So there are summer internships available right now. Our software teams are located in Chicago and Richmond, Virginia, though. Hopefully in the near future, we will be bringing some of that with our downtown facility. So we will have computer engineering opportunities, hopefully in Syracuse really soon. Or if you want to spend a summer in Chicago or Richmond, that's definitely a possibility as well.
Great, and I will encourage students to drop your questions in the chat, continue to do that. If there are no other questions at this time, we will continue on. I would just like to also give our technology presenters a Zoom round of applause. Thank you so much for being here today. This is excellent. Okay. So to conclude the industry presentations for this event, we will hear about opportunities in the trades from IBEW Training Director, John Lubner.
Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you, John.
Good. Good morning, everybody. Like Kelly said, my name is John Lubner. I'm the training director of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 43, located here in Syracuse, New York. I guess also by default, I represent all the construction trades in the Syracuse, Utica area, from iron workers to the plumbers, pipe fitters, things like that. They call them skilled construction trades. So in the past, you know, even in now, you have a lot of information thrown at you as high school seniors, and a typical high school senior, you're not sure what you like or what you dislike, or you have to experience that. We don't have to sell our apprenticeship program to anyone, to be frank. We offer a tremendous amount of opportunities like everybody else does. Ours is not a job. Ours is truly a career. So to invest in your career, it takes time and energy and an effort on your part. Is the electrical part of the construction business. We offer a true apprenticeship program. Now, many high school seniors don't even know what an apprenticeship program looks like. So we're going to kind of do a brief idea of what an apprenticeship actually is. It's called earning a career, a life, you know, your finances, as well as learning at the same time. So the idea behind apprenticeship programs is that you actually learn something in the classroom setting and you apply it in the field as you're doing it. So we're registered with the Department of Labor. Our apprenticeship, actually our local's been around here for over 100 years. So this is what we specialize. We train electricians. Electricians are we look at the commercial industrial side. So pretty much anything you go to today, if you're on your phone, you're on the computer, you go to a grocery store, a gas station, the carrier dome, manufacturing plants, we do pretty much all the electrical work in those systems. So is there demand for electricians? It's crazy. There was a comment that somebody made to me 10 years ago. They said in 10 years, there'll be a shortage of skilled construction workers. And that time has come. It is incredible the amount of work that's out there right now. You see a new face from government wanted to rebuild or invest in the infrastructure, which is all over the US, and New York is no exception to the rule. So back to the apprenticeship program. Apprenticeship programs, ours is a 5-year program. And you go to school 1 day a week, and the other 4 days you work for a contractor in the field. You get a set wage, raises, benefits, a retirement. As a matter of fact, we offer what few companies offer, and that's called a pension. Now, a pension probably is a foreign word to a high school senior, but a pension is something that's usually offered only at a state or federal employee level. We offer that. So someday, hard to believe, I know you're 16, 17, 18 years old now, but someday you're going to want to retire. So we offer that. We also offer what's called an annuity plan. And the annuity plan is like a 401k. It's an investment portfolio for that. All this does not come out of your paycheck. So your health insurance that you start as a first-year apprentice here is automatically covered. It doesn't come out of your paycheck. The contractor pays for that. Your pension is paid by the contractor. It doesn't come out of your paycheck. Your annuity, which is your investment, typically most employers will match 2 to 3 to up to 5% into a 401k. The contractor pays the full benefit package in your name, so it doesn't come out of your paycheck. And the beauty of a true apprenticeship program, ours, is there is no tuition. Again, the contractor pays for your education. So the beauty of it is you can come out of this after 5 years, being 23, 24 years old, having a skilled trade that you can take anywhere anywhere in the world. We have a national network across the country that you can work anywhere in 50 states, in every city. You just have to show up, show them we call it the golden ticket. It's a card, it's got your name, everything information on it, and you go right to work. There's no resumes, there's no interviews, you go right to work. And there's set wage rates across the nation, so there's no negotiating of how much money they're going to pay you. The wages are set nationally, so you know exactly where you're going and how much money you're going to make. So, but back to an apprenticeship program, we have a training center here in Clay. We have an education building, and we have a detached separate building that's just strictly hands-on. So for us to build a solid construction electrician, it takes time. In Germany, actually, an apprenticeship program in the same trade takes 10 years. So to be an electrician isn't we just don't wire houses. We actually do, like I shared earlier, every other manufacturing plant that people work in that's actually on this career fair. The hospitals, we do all of that work, healthcare. Again, if it has signal to it and power to it, the computer systems. Matter of fact, behind me in one of the classes right now, we have Corning. Everybody knows of Corning. They're in downstate New York. They do all fiber optic work. Actually, the students are going through a training program. We do fiber optic install and troubleshooting on that as well. So we cover a multi-faceted portion of the construction industry on the electrical side. But all skilled construction trades have an apprenticeship program, and essentially they all have the same thing in common. And somebody asked earlier about what kind of degree do you need to get into some of these positions. A lot of times, because they're entry level, we just need a person with a high school GED or a diploma, ready, wanting to work, wanting to learn, and an eagerness to invest in their career, because that's what it boils down to. There's going to be a lot of people drawing on you, a lot of companies with great benefits and great opportunities and careers. It's hard to pick something you love to do. For us, if you like to work with your hands and you like to see something you built at the end of the day, construction trades may be for you. Construction trades are a good key to how the economy is going. And right now, construction trades, matter of fact, we have a shortage of construction workers, and especially electricians. We can't get enough. There's that much work going on in our area. So that's a positive thing to show for everybody. So at this point, I guess one other thing I can't forget is we have an articulation agreement with Mohawk Valley Community College. So if you go through our apprenticeship program, again, 5 years, you actually come out of it, you get a 2-year AOS tech degree as well. You don't have to take any additional classes, and it doesn't cost you a penny. They recognize that our apprenticeship program is equal, if not exceeding theirs. So they're willing to partner with us and do that. So not only do you come out of our program with a journeyman's card, we call it, that you can go anywhere in the US and work at any time, like I said, with set wages, but you also have a 2-year degree from Mohawk Valley Community College. Again, no extra cost to you, no extra classes. Because someday you're going to maybe want to go do something different. Well, you'll have a 2-year degree to go with you. So it goes, we want to hear a lot of times people talking about promoting from within. You know, the opportunities that we offer, that offers in our, especially in the electrical construction trade, is you can be a business owner, a contractor, you can be a project manager, estimator, an inspector, that's all linked together through this process. A lot of times people don't know what electricians make on the commercial industrial side. Our first year apprentice starting out, no skill, because we understand that we invest in people. That's our best commodity, is our people. And it's $15.90 an hour starting the gate. Within the first 6 months, you get a $2 an hour raise. So, and then it progressively goes up from there. When you top out as a journeyman wireman, right now they're making $39.75 an hour in the paycheck, plus all their benefits that I shared with about earlier that does not come out of their paycheck. The insurance, even healthcare, is all covered. It does not come out of your paycheck. It's all covered by full insurance. So there's a lot of information that I've just poured on everybody. There's a lot to think about. And but the beauty of an apprenticeship program, and you'll notice that if you pay a little attention to the news there, apprenticeships, the federal government has dumped literally tens of millions of dollars into the format of an apprenticeship program because they realize it works. You don't have to go to college and come out with debt. You go through this program or any of the skill construction, apprenticeship programs, and not only do you come out with no debt, but you have an education to go with you. So there's a lot of possibilities. All I can say to this is just look, be informed, ask lots of questions. It may not be for you when you're a senior high school, but we have people coming in here at 24, 25 years old, 30 years old, because they try different things in their lives and they kind of, and then they interest change. They come back, they go through the process of an apprenticeship program. So the apprenticeship programs offer a great a nice option besides college, because you don't actually have to go get a job. You got a job and you got a career to go with it. So I guess at this point, again, after I've dumped all this information on you guys, any questions at all?
Thank you so much, John, for sharing about IBEW and for the great advice for the students here today. We will now take questions, and you all know the drill. To ask a question, please raise your hand in Zoom, and we will call on you to unmute. Alternatively, you may continue to drop your questions in the chat. Any questions for John today? And don't worry, if you end up having questions after the event is over, I'm sure any of our employers that you have heard from today will be more than willing to take questions. Please definitely, like I said, if you have questions after the event, talk with your guidance counselor and we'll make sure to assist them in getting any questions you have answered. A huge thank you to John again. And can we just get a Zoom round of applause? Thank you. All right. So a huge thank you to each of our industry presenters for being here today. We know we are giving you a ton of information. And again, if you have further questions about any of the companies or opportunities you heard about here today, please write them in the chat or be sure to talk to your guidance counselor. So before we get into the next part of our presentation, I just want to say, go ahead, stretch, get some water. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone? Can I get a thumbs up from our students? How's everyone doing? Thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Lisi. I can see your excitement over there. Awesome. Thank you so much. I love it. All right. So we heard from companies with exciting opportunities right here in Syracuse for after graduation. So what's next? How do you apply for and land the job? We are pleased to have Syracuse Housing Authority Human Resources Director, Jalen Clifford, here with us today, provide you with an overview of what you should be thinking about when it comes to job readiness. Thank you, Jalen, for being here today to share your expertise.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. As Taylor said, you have heard from such wonderful employers here in Syracuse, New York, and how do we get to that next step and land you potentially your first job? So some steps to start prior to even looking for your job. First thing that I want you all to do is create a professional email address. Hopefully it's something as simple as your first and last name, but if that's not a possibility, you can kind of think of something that could be your first initial and your last name. But one thing as an employer that makes me potentially cringe is when you see kind of those email addresses that potentially say cutie pie, XOXOXO. We don't want to use those for our professional job search. Another thing to start thinking about along with your email address is your voicemail message that you have. So when employers are calling potentially for your interviews to come in, try to have your voicemail message be as professional as possible. So the next step, and this is crucial, your social media checkup. Now, we all have posts that potentially could be questionable. It's not even just what you're posting. Gone are the days where your first impression is actually meeting someone in person. Most of the time, employers are going to check what your internet footprint is. A place to start would be Googling your own name, Googling usernames that you have potentially used, and even your email address to see what comes up. If you don't like the way that looks, or if it makes you cringe, I would do everything in your power to try to get that off. One of the employers earlier said you're never too young to start a LinkedIn, and that is totally true. If you could start that, the earlier the better, and it really translates across industries. Keep in mind, it's not just what you are actually posting, it's what you're liking, it's what you're commenting on, it's what you're reacting to. It's even what you're tagged in. So I would take a look at your privacy filters that you have currently on your social media pages and either start restricting those or taking down posts that are potentially questionable. When in doubt, listen to your parents because they have been in the working field for a long time. And if they say it's questionable, it's probably because it really is. If you are not comfortable with your employer seeing it, it's a good chance it needs to come down. And last advice before starting your job search would be to prepare your resume. Most positions that you're going to apply to, really across the board in any field, you're going to have to create a resume. There are a lot of services in CNY that will assist you with this. One, for instance, is CNY Works. They have resume workshops, different avenues to help you edit what you already have. And definitely don't sell yourself short. You may be thinking that because I'm in high school, you may not have experience that an employer is looking for, but in a lot of the activities you've done, whether it's playing on a sports team or volunteering, you've shown leadership, you've shown the ability to work well with others, and that those are the types of things you want to highlight, even if you haven't actually had a first job. Next slide, please. So the next step, apply. I always tell people that even if you don't necessarily think that you're qualified for a position, if you're not checking every single box that's in that job description, go ahead and apply for it. What's the worst that can happen? And that's where not becoming discouraged comes into play. You're going to receive a lot of no's in your lifetime, but there's always the potential for a yes. What I always give advice out for your resume when you're applying for jobs is looking at a job posting, taking out those keywords and throwing those into your qualifications as long as they match. When a recruiter or an HR professional is looking at your resume, I believe it's about 6 seconds that we scan through them pretty quickly, and we're looking for kind of keywords. So the words that we're putting into our job descriptions, if those are sticking out to us, we're more apt to put your resume into the yes or maybe pile. So I often tell people, have your kind of boilerplate resume ready, but also have it at a point where you're able to edit for each job posting that you're applying to. Also keep track of the jobs that you apply to. I use a simple Excel sheet when I have looked in the past. So you can keep track and you don't double apply to jobs because we know as employers, we know who's applied twice. Also think of everything that you're doing in the public as a networking experience. This doesn't have to be the traditional suit and tie, go to an event, shake people's hands networking experience. It can be something as simple as if you're working, if you're at the grocery store. There have been numerous occasions where I have given my business card out to someone because they have a wonderful personality or they've gone above and beyond in the experience that I've had with them. So if you really start to think of everything as a networking experience, it's going to get you that much further. And sometimes in certain industries, certain places, if you have that name recognition or it's somebody that you know, it could get you that interview that could get you in the door where somebody didn't initially see your resume and say yes. Next slide, please. So you got to call back. What do you do next? So this is your interview prep. Very, very important. I always start out by researching the company. Check out their social media pages. Check out their website. Look at the history of their CEO, the history from start to finish. You really need to know in and out what the company stands for and look into their mission and vision. When you're looking at their mission and vision, if it doesn't spark passion in you, it may not be the right fit, and that's okay. You really need to know what the company stands for and why they're in existence. That's going to put you that much further when you get to the point of actually coming in for the interview. You can talk about that with the person that you're interviewing with, and it's going to make that experience that much better. Also, if possible, if you learn the name of the person that's actually interviewing you, look them up as well. Look at their LinkedIn pages, see what they do. That's going to be able, you can kind of throw out, hey, so-and-so did this, and kind of have that initial alignment, which is going to make you that much more comfortable in the interview. And it's also going to make that person kind of like you instantly. So as far as appearance, try to, if for your clothes side of things, I always tend to go for something that's a bit more muted, not as flashy, not as busy, don't wear a lot of buttons. I think when I was in college, our career coaches called it pieces of flair. And they tried to keep it lower than 10. And that includes your buttons, that includes your glasses, that's your earrings. So try to stay as muted and simple as possible. You never want that type of thing to be what's distracting in an interview. You want to be able to sell yourself and have the person performing your interview focus on that instead of a wacky shirt with a whole bunch of things on it. Next, my thing that I love when someone comes in for an interview is when they're prepared to ask me questions. I'm telling you, that will set you apart from most candidates. At the end, when your interviewer says to you, do you have any questions for me? If you say no, instantly I kind of think, well, not only am I interviewing you, but you should be interviewing me as well to make sure that you actually want to be here, because that's what I look for in someone. My favorite question to ask someone, and what I love when is asked of me, is what makes you passionate about working for this company? Because that's something that makes me smile. I love talking about why I'm passionate about working for FHA. And again, it's going to get you that familiarity with your interviewer. If you are going in for a Zoom interview or any sort of virtual or in person, you're going to want to make sure that you practice. practice on whatever type of media that you're using, whether it's Zoom or if it is in person. Make very good eye contact. You're going to seem very personable. If it's over the phone interview, don't downplay smiling while you're talking. You can really hear it over the phone, and it makes you sound that much more interested. It makes you sound bubbly. You're going to translate to someone that I want to hire at the company. Make sure you are limiting the amount that you're fidgeting, your hand movements. I talk with my hands all the time, but during an interview, I do my best to just tap my foot potentially, so I don't seem as, what might translate to nervousness is really me just not being able to sit still. So again, practice makes perfect as much as you can. And really in this field, in any field, you can't really over practice that. After your interview, make sure you're sending a thank you. Thank you notes may seem outdated, but people don't do them anymore. So it's going to set you apart. With your thank yous, I always try to make note of one or two things that I spoke with the interviewer during the interview, potentially what they're passionate about the job. And that's what I include in my follow-up. Also bring a piece of paper and pen. That also shows that you're prepared. On that piece of paper and pen, you can jot notes about what you spoke about with the interviewer, that include it in your follow-up. You can also take down their email address to send those thank yous. And last, don't be afraid to follow up with the person that interviewed you. I always ask and suggest that folks ask, when will I hear back from you next? That way you're not in the dark. No one likes to be ghosted. It feels terrible. So it's okay to follow up. I would not do it a lot because that puts you in a whole other column of candidates. But it's okay to send one follow-up. If you haven't heard from them by the time that they said that they would follow up with you, feel free to reach out and just see where you are in the process. And last, land the job. Definitely feel confident in the interview. It will translate over 100%. And again, don't get discouraged if it's a no, because just because it's a no now doesn't mean it's a no in the future.
Thank you, Jalen. This is extremely helpful advice on resumes, interviewing, the professional, etiquette that we need as we move into, especially as we're thinking about what's next and going after potentially one of these jobs we heard about today, and being matched and working with a career coach. So again, I just want to ask, do we have any questions for Jalen about any of the information she's provided today? And again, you can raise your hand in Zoom, or you're welcome to drop any questions you may have in the chat.
And just to add, I am always available, even if it's not a career that you're thinking about with SHA. I'm certainly happy to, if anybody ever wants to call me, you kind of want to chat over, or even if send me your resume, happy to help.
We really appreciate that, Jalen. Thank you. Give everyone about 30 seconds here. Any questions for Jalen today on any of the information she covered? And again, I'm sure, like she just said, happy to answer any questions you may have as you begin to set out on working to obtain one of these positions. Okay, well, if there are no questions, I would just like to ask everyone to give a Zoom round of applause to Jalen. All right. I will now pass the baton to Syracuse City School District Business and Higher Education Liaison, Nick Lisi, who has been instrumental in bringing us all together to make this event a reality.
Can you guys hear me now? Great. Sorry, I was muted there. Couldn't get off. Thank you, Taylor. And thanks everyone for all of the information and incredible opportunities that you're presenting. Students, really the next step is if you want to take the next step, and that is to begin the process. And what I mean by that is kind of the process of taking the next step and taking advantage of one of these opportunities that you learned about. And we're here to help. And when I say we, I mean everyone here in the Career and Tech Ed office, counselors, are all of these great partners. You've been given contact information to some of the most incredible business folks in our area with opportunities for you. But don't be overwhelmed by it, because if you want to take that next step, again, we're here to help. And so our plan is to kind of set up an opportunity for you students to be connected with a support person. And so we're going to kind of do this again in a little different way, virtually meet, and then to really hear from you, what are the jobs that you're interested in? What did you hear today that you thought, boy, this is really for me. I really do think I want to go here, but I have some questions. I'm a little bit nervous. Don't be. That's what this next step meeting is that we're going to set up. We're not exactly sure the date yet, but we want you to register. And all we're asking you for is your name, your email address, cell number, so we can contact you with the next link to meet again. Your counselors have this information. Everyone on this call is going to have this information. I'm going to post it on our CTE website. That's on the district site. So if you can't register right now, don't worry about it. If you have any questions at any point, check in with your counselors. Again, all this information is going to be on the CTE site. And thank you. The link is in the chat to register. You'll see there's a few questions on there that we're going to ask you if you would take a minute to answer. Just help us, because again, this is the first time we've ever done this. We want to get some of your feedback to let us know what you thought of it and any changes that we can make. But ultimately, the whole point of this is for students to have another choice, another opportunity. As our superintendent said when he kicked this off, it's really about having a plan. We want every student to graduate high school in Syracuse and have a plan. You may not stick with that plan, but we want you to start out with a plan. And the plan that we can help you with here is to connect you with some of these business opportunities and to work with you through the process, getting you over that hurdle. You heard about resumes, and if you don't have a resume, don't worry about it. We'll help you get one. We'll help you create one. You've heard some incredible tips about the interviewing process. It is a little bit daunting, but you know what? If you just follow those steps, you're going to be successful. I was writing them down. So next time I apply for a job, whatever that is, I got some tips here too. So students, I just want to say, take a few minutes, please register. At any point, if you have any questions, reach out to anyone at your high school, particularly your counselors. We met with all the counselors, and they would be on, by the way, today, but they're helping with the SATs and the 11th grade students and the 10th grade students. So, but they know this is happening. They're aware of this. So reach out to the counselors. Come back and visit our CTE page. It's going to have all these links, and really good luck. And we're just here to help.
Thank you, Nick. The chat will be active for the remainder of the event to allow for you to sign up to be matched with a career coach. We are so excited about the possibilities, and we hope you are too. We are also excited to have On Point for College here with us this morning to talk about both educational advancement and career opportunities. Thank you to co-directors Teli Panett and Nicole Burnett for being here today.
Hello, thank you for having us today. I love to see all your beautiful faces. This is awesome. So I'm Teli. I am of programming here at On Point, and Nicole Burnett is joining me, who is the other co-director. We will be talking about our program, but we also want to make sure that we have enough time for you guys to ask questions, but we'll jump right into it. So On Point for College. Nicole, did you want to introduce yourself? Where is she?
Sorry. There you go. No, there you go. Because I was trying to unmute. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Nicole Burnett, and it's nice to be here to meet everyone. And I look forward to the presentation. Hopefully, everyone likes it and enjoy it. Tila, you want to start it off, or you would like me to start?
Sure, I can start it off. So On
Great.
Point for College, we help students from application through graduation and beyond. We make sure that we add that beyond because we are really like family here at On Point, where, you know, we say once an On Point, always an On Point, and we continue with our students throughout their career and academic journey. You can go to the next slide, Liza. So our purpose, On Point for College works to support all individuals regardless of age, circumstances, or socioeconomic status in pursuing higher education and improving the quality of their lives. So we say that because we want to make sure that students know that we will assist students that are interested in vocational programs, apprenticeships, training programs, are something that we include as education. So post-secondary education does not just mean that you're going to college, right? So that's why we felt that it was important that we participate in this presentation today to let you all know that, you know, if you're not interested in the traditional college, so 2-year, 4-year degree, you are still an On Point student. You're still eligible to become an On Point student. Nicole, did you want to jump in?
Sorry. Okay. So actually, On Point has been around for 22 years. Actually, today we celebrated our 22 years. Doing what we do. Today's our birthday. So we are actually in several counties. We are in Cayuga, Cortland, Herkimer, Madison, Oneida, Oswego, and of course, Onondaga County. We've been helping students throughout these 22 years pursuing, as Tila mentioned, higher education, not only just college, but as she mentioned, you know, certificate programs and trades. Right now, we in order for you to join, you have to be, a junior or at least a junior 11th grade to participate in our program. But of course, we also help non-traditional students to help them meet them where they are. What I love about On Point is I always tell people my testimony that I actually used to be a part of the program as well. As many of you know, we help first gen students, and what we do pretty much is help them throughout the whole process. And you kind of go to the other slide because I know we only got a few minutes, so I'm gonna kind of do it in a nutshell. But we help students, and this is how we break it down in 3. If you want to think about On Point, we break it down in 3 different areas. College access is starting students, helping students with getting into the college program. That's helping them with their applications. That's helping them with their financial aid. That's helping them find out scholarships and other grants out there, literally taking them step by step with that process and helping them get into whatever it is that they're trying to pursue. And then we have college success, which also we help support. We actually go to college visits. We go on their campus, but due to COVID, you know, we were doing everything virtually, but we will help our students and stay with our students throughout their whole journey. Then we will also help students in career services, and Tila would go into that a little deeper with career services, but we help them with employment, with getting with their resumes, with getting internships and things of that nature. You can, thank you, Tila. So right here with our college access, here's some of the services we provide. As you mentioned, I'm not going to read word for word what it says on the slide, but basically we help students with, like I said, with their application. We help them meet them one-on-one to figure out what it is that they need. We also do a orientation that we help our students with, going over what it is to be a college student, going over like the resources there, you know, help making sure that they're prepared their first day of stepping on to that campus. We're there to help them throughout that whole process. So we do college tours. We make sure that they not only, our motive is we want you to make sure you know you've been on that campus. We don't want you to just say, okay, I want to go to that college and then, you know, never been to the campus. We're going to take you on those campuses. We're going to make sure that the campus, that's the campus that you're going to fit. If you want to transfer, if you want to start at a 2-year college, we're there. And what I love about it is we're unique. We're going to, like I said, we're going to meet the students where you are. Every student that comes in our door, we're not going to treat the same way. So that's what I love about On Point is like, we're going to make sure that whatever goal it is that you're trying to pursue, that we're going to help you with that goal throughout your college journey. Okay, let me go to the next one. And then the college success part, as I mentioned, we do our regular check-ins. We will be following up with you throughout your college. Like I said, we'll be on your campus. We'll be calling you. We follow our students on our social medias. We really are involved, and we want to build those relationships with our students. And so we have that. We also have transportation for our students. So if you're, like I said, we oversee all these different counties. So if you happen to go to a school and you need help with transportation, that is something that we also have, where we will pick you up to and from with the help of our volunteers. We also have a mentor program to make sure you connected with mentors. It is an awesome, awesome program. I know I'm kind of speeding up because we only got a couple more minutes, but if you guys have any questions, please just reach out to me. I know that you guys can get our contact at the information at the end, but please reach out to me if you have some personal questions that you want to know about On Point. But I'm gonna go ahead to the next. You can go to the next slide. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have jump in.
Services. So are we pressed for time? Actually, I want to know, because I know that we were a little bit early. Liza invited us to join a little bit earlier than the 11 o'clock slot, because I don't want to rush.
Yeah, Teli and Nicole, take your time. We're ahead of schedule right now, so take your time.
We could take some time, girl. So, because we have so much to offer. So career services advising, this is to me like the most relevant part of our programming for you guys who are interested in maybe pursuing some vocational apprenticeship programs. One of the things that we provide within career services is actually new to the program, to On Point for College. Although we are 22 years old today, we actually didn't start career services until 2008. As you all know, the core of our organization is College Access and Success, where we follow the students, right? So that's what we were founded off of in 1999. But we added career services because we saw the strong need for our students that were being successful in graduating to really receive wraparound services and assistance with career services and finding employment thereafter. So they were doing great and accomplishing great feats and graduating, sometimes even getting master's and doctorate degrees, but still were having hard times finding employment. And so some of the services that we provide within career services is career action planning, right? So we sit with our students and we think about what are your plans, what are your goals, which is kind of what you guys are doing now, right? You're taking control as to what your career paths are going to be, what's your future going to look like, right? And we help guide you guys in that process. So we do, an assessment with you all, and then we develop a plan with you. As you all know, sometimes things don't go as you plan, and you might have to change your path, and that's okay. So we are here throughout that journey to help you to figure out what that path is for you. So we, like Nicole mentioned, we're not cookie cutter. We are very individually based. We work with our students where they are and where they want to go. And so we never, ever try to push our students to go any direction, college and so it's really about figuring out who you are, where your light is, and what your path is for yourself. And we love to help students, help them have that light bulb aha moment, as Jenny would call, go off in their minds, and they say, this is it, this is my dream, this is my passion, this is what I want to do. And On Point, that's really our biggest thing. And we've been very instrumental in so many aha moments in the city of Syracuse and Utica that, that's really why we do what we do, right? Because we love to help students figure out what those passions are and pursue it. So, when it comes to career services, we help with career readiness. I see that we had some resume tips and view tips earlier, which is amazing. So we continue that on. We have a catalog of different workshops within career services to help with soft skills building, to help you guys really develop your best professional selves. Employment assistance, so we help students get connected with employment after graduating from whatever program it is that you pursue. But we also have internship opportunities. In the last 3 years, we've been able, this is our 4th year, to be able to provide paid internship experiences. So we are the conduit to placing students into some really great positions in the city of Syracuse and Utica, where students are able to learn whether or not that's the career field for them, and get some real life experience, and we pay you, so which is great. And then we also, of course, help with the practice interviews and provide opportunities to network with potential employers. Some of the things that we do are like women's and men's empowerment events, where students are able to meet and mingle and build relationships with people in this area that look like them, that are doing great things, that can be a mentor to them. So we've established our formalized mentorship program this year, which we're very proud of. We've unofficially been doing mentorship with students for years now, but we have structured it now so that we try to make it so that all of our students continue to have this relationship with someone in the community. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we really wanted to talk about today was stackable credentials, because that's part of what we do within OnPoint. And we've partnered with many other businesses or organizations in Syracuse to kind of help with our students in their stackable credentials. Some of the partnerships that we have are like with NTTS, OCC's Economic Workforce Development. I see John from the Electrical Union on here. We've worked with him, and he's done some of our skill trade expos. So we try to help students throughout their career paths, like I mentioned. So part of that is stacking the credentials. So what does that mean? Stackable credentials are credentials that are acquired through employment-based training, industry-based certifications or apprenticeships, post-secondary certificates associated with certificates or licenses. And it's basically just an accelerated entrance to the job market. So it hurry up, quick training, get you prepared to work in that field as fast as possible. And so, one of the good things about that is that it's portable from one employer to another. It's kind of like transferable skills. So you learn these stuff and you could bring it on, bring those skills to the next job. Ideally part of a career pathway with clear education, training, and support. So one of the biggest things for being successful in stackable credentials is having that support system. And OnPoint for College is really that place that we continue, like I said, because we continue with you throughout your career path, your journey. That's really why our support is so integral, because we have students that we assisted 10 years ago that come back and say, you know what, I'm ready now for the next level, and we can assist them with that. Next slide. So this is like just a picture. I like pictures to help students to understand, like, how does that work, right? So, if right now something for you is like, okay, I want to get an industry certification. I just want to get a certificate in this program, but in the long run, I think I might want to be a nurse, right? So I'll give you an example for that. So one example for stackable credentials is starting off as a home health aide. And then deciding, okay, you know what, I kind of like this healthcare industry stuff. So I think I want to do my CNA. Then I think I want to go on now to my LPN. And so those are career paths where you can easily start building up on those. So industry certifications are credentials awarded by industry recognized third-party certifying entities. And so certificate or the career technical certificates. I'm not sure if you guys covered this earlier. Did you guys cover all this information earlier? Because I like to give students some background on it, just so that they understand how things like this work. Liza, Rachel, Nick.
You're good.
We're good? Okay, good.
Yes.
So career technical certificates, a little bit more based on, actually you can go back to the other slide because we're still talking about how those build up, right? So yeah, there we go. So so you get a little bit of book knowledge, right, when you're doing this industry certification. Then you get a little bit more when you decide, okay, this might be the path for me. So let me do my technical certificate. So you're building on you're stacking on your knowledge, your credentials, and you're obtaining more licenses and certificates, right? Then you say, okay, so the industry certification, that could be like a home health aide CNA program. The technical certificate, that can be the LPN program. So it's a 10-month, a little bit longer, you're learning more, you're getting more into it, into the weeds of the industry, doing nursing type work. Then there's college credit certificates. So then you have your, okay, now you're in school and I'm getting a little certificate, right? So I can, and then there's your associate, so you can get your RN, that's the RN, and then there's bachelor's, so you can get your bachelor's in science for nursing, which, you know, will put you on a great path for getting your nurse practitioner. So those are just some examples of how these paths can go for you, right? And they're different. So you can go to the next slide. So they're different for different industries, right? And so what kind of jobs do stackable credentials work for? So industries that pay middle class earnings, but do not require a bachelor's degree. So healthcare is great. I just gave you an example of how your career path can go down in the healthcare industry. Education, you could start as a TA, then you get your associate's degree for to get, you know, when you get your certificate, then you get a little bit more money, right? Then you get your bachelor's degree, and of course you have to get your master's within 5 years. The food industry, students can start off doing food prep. You can get a certificate for a chef. You can do a sous chef. I can never say sous chef. Sous chef. That's the Puerto Rican in me. I'm like, I cannot say that. Lead, then you can do lead prep, and you can manage the kitchen. You can start to manage your own restaurant, right? So these are the levels that you can do in stacking your credentials. And so there's many examples: coding and computer networking, paralegal, legal secretary, lawyer, you know. Next slide. So we're really, really proud of our students. These are some examples of On Point for College students that have graduated, right? So, you know, On Point for College counts among its 1,600 plus alumni as police officers, firefighters, nurses, teachers, lawyers, Olympic athletes, accountants, executive directors, On Point for College employees like Nicole, a Secretary of State, and many of the professionals living and working throughout Central New York. I mean, we have doctors, pilots, drone operators, artists, social workers, people doing great things in our community, legislators. And so, you know, everyone's path is different, and we respect that, we acknowledge that, and we just love going down this journey, career journey with our students. Next slide. One of the programs that I talked about a little bit about our partnership programs, like I mentioned, National Tractor Trailer School, NTTS, any students that are interested in pursuing a CDL, we have a partnership with NTTS, EOC's economic, OCC's economic workforce development, EOC, OC and BOCES. And then one of the great partnerships that we recently formed is with National Grid's Grid for Good program. So this program is designed for young adults 17 to 24 to explore non-professional in-demand jobs in the energy industry. Workshops are offered to expose all our students to the energy industry career paths and strategies for conflict resolution, team building, work readiness, workplace expectations, create a resume, online training, applications, interviews. There's a mentorship program, there's work experience. This program is amazing. It's a great start for someone that's maybe not interested in college, but is interested in building their professionalism and want to get into jobs now. Next slide. So this is what the career paths look like for National Grid. And as I mentioned, you know, I don't know what's going on with my thing, but I can't make it bigger. Sorry. So the first steps is the pathways goes through steps. And so it's very clearly defined, and it's great because it's easy to go through. There's insights, Energy Insights talks about all of the different industries within National Grid that a student can be a part of. And you get to have these workshops. They're facilitated by National Grid volunteers. So you get to have these interactions, ask questions, and really learn a lot about National Grid and their employees. And then we have team building exercises where you learn about the gas and electrical safety, and you really get to interact and do role playing with the facilitators / volunteers from National Grid and On Point for College. And then we have the upskilling events, which are really just those resumes, cover letters, interview tips, soft skills building workshops that we provide at On Point as well. And then we have the one-to-one training. So once you complete steps 1, 2, and 3, then you're eligible for a one-to-one mentor. These mentorship experiences are for 12 weeks, and you're intentionally matched with someone that is, well, we try to do it as intentional as possible to match students with someone working in the industry that they're thinking about. So for example, we have a student that is interested in HR work, and that's what she's going to school for, and she's going to graduate soon. And so the person that we match them with is in HR at National Grid. If you guys don't know what HR is human resources. So they're learning all of the different interview practices and what they look for in employees at National Grid. They're learning the ins and outs of this position, which is amazing. But they're also building a relationship with someone that works at National Grid. So when if they choose to apply for National Grid, they have someone from National Grid that they can say, this is a reference for me. This person knows who I am, right? And then we have work experience. So once a student does at least 4 weeks of a mentorship experience, then they are eligible for work experience. Work experience is 2 weeks paid, full-time work, in real life experience in a position at National Grid. And the student will receive a stipend thereafter for $1,400 for participating in that 2-week experience. And then they have job opportunities. We have 2 students that have recently been hired in customer service entry positions at National Grid. So this opportunity, like I mentioned, is a opportunity to get your foot in the door in a great company. And then alumni is that we always have students give back, and that's part of just the On Point way. So it was perfectly aligned with what Grid for Good was doing within their pathways, is for to have our students give back to the people behind them to say, hey, this is a great program, and share their experiences and stories. So upcoming events. So we have our next cohort for Grid for Good coming up May 4th. It's 1 week for each cohort, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And you would have the first 3 steps. So if you go through the cohort in May and you do May 4th, 5th, and 6th, or May 18th, 19th, and 20th, you'll be eligible to receive a mentor at the end of the month and possibly a work experience by the summer. So if you're interested in any of our college tours, our next college tour is actually later today at 3 p.m. We're going to be at Cayuga. We'll be virtually visiting, rather, Cayuga Community College. We're hoping that soon we will be in person doing tours, but at the moment we're still virtual due to COVID. And then April 15th, which is this Thursday, we will be at RIT at 3 p.m. And then on the 20th, which is next week, we will do SUNY Morrisville. So as you can see, they are every Tuesday, Thursday in the afternoon. And if you are interested in signing up for future events, so if there's Grid for Good, you can go to opfc.cc/CS, which stands for Career Services Events. And then if you are interested in the tours, you can go to opfc.cc/events, and that will take you to our calendar on our website that has everything that we have available for students. Next slide. I think we're done. And if you're interested in signing up for On Point for College, you can join our program or show interest. So that's our interest form in signing up at onpointforcollege.org/join. Next slide. Yes, so that is it. This is it. That's it. That's all. Any questions for us about On Point?
Thank you, Tila and Nicole. That was fabulous. As I'm sitting here and listening today and taking notes and reflecting, I am just continuously amazed by our community and how many resources there are in Syracuse available to everyone. This is just so exciting. So again, please feel free to raise your hand so we can call on you to unmute and ask a question. On Point will take your questions now. Again, the chat is open, so if you feel more comfortable dropping your questions that way, please do so.
I see some of our alumni on here, Quinzel, hey, and one of our board members.
Any questions for Teli or Nicole? I know they gave us a ton of fabulous information today. And again, they'll take, if you think of anything after the fact, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. Got a hello from Quindell.
Yes. Okay.
Can we get a round of applause for Teli and Nicole?
Oh, no, thanks.
Thank you. All right. Before we conclude today's first ever Career Connections event, I would like to take a moment to thank all the presenters for being here today. I would also like to give a special thank you to Liza Senaday and Amanda Miles for all the work and planning that has gone and will continue to go towards this initiative. I'll now toss it over to Syracuse City School District Chief Ombuds and Student Support Officer, Patty Clark, to close us out.
Good morning, everyone. What a great morning. I really, really, really appreciate all of the people involved in putting this together. I also want to appreciate our partners. We appreciate you and all the work you do and the collaboration that we have together. Thank you to our seniors and our staff. Richard St. John wrote a book. It's called The 8 Traits of that successful people have in common. He took years to talk to some of the most successful people in the world. I want to leave you with his 8 traits. The first, passion. Do it for love, not for money. The money will come. Follow your passion, be prepared to work hard and sacrifice, and above all, don't let anyone limit your dreams. Trait number 2 is work. Nothing comes easily. Try to make your hard work fun. Third trait, good. Get good at it. Practice, practice, practice. As Joe Mauer says, it frustrates me if I'm not good at something, so I do it until I get good at it. Fourth trait is focus. Focus yourself on one thing. And Venus states, I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and I try to ignore the rest. Push yourself. Push yourself physically and mentally. Never give up. There are always tough times, regardless of what you do in life. Be able to push through those times and maintain your ultimate goal. The next trait is serve. Give something of value. And remember, it's a privilege to serve. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. Muhammad Ali. Ideas. Listen, observe, be curious, ask questions, problem solve, and make connections. Jay-Z. I'm hungry for knowledge. The whole thing is to learn every day, to get brighter and brighter. That's what this world is about. And finally, the 8th trait is persist. Persist through failure, criticism, rejection, and pressure. Persevere, nothing worthwhile is easy. Barack Obama. Good reminders for all of us. Finally, I just want to say thank you again to everyone. If you need help, seniors, use your resources, reach out. There are lots of people who are here on this Zoom, and others around you that are happy to help you with anything that you need. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Patty. That's a fabulous way to close it out. That concludes today's Career Connections event. We will be holding another Career Connections event on Monday, April 19th. Please feel free to join us again and definitely spread the word to your friends. There will be a few different employers and presenters here next Monday, so please definitely, like I said, feel free to join us again and spread the word. If you have further questions, please feel free to stay on the call and we can make sure they are answered. As a quick reminder, the link to complete the survey to be matched with a career coach is still in the chat. So please, and it is up on the slide as well as the QR code. So please be sure to take that next step to be matched with a career coach. I would also like to ask students on the call, if you can, to unmute and turn on your cameras to say thank you, or just write a thank you in the chat. So again, I would just like to thank all of our presenters and everyone on the call for being here today.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and like I said, we'll remain on the call. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to stick around. We'll be on here for a bit. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much.